Welcome, everyone, to the L7C podcast NBA edition. The first NBA games are in the books as of Tuesday. Today is Wednesday of recording, so we are here to review those games and give you a preview on Christmas Day, because that is NBA Day in my household. And to help me out, we have Evan Debo with us. How you doing today, sir?
Doing good. Merry Christmas, listeners. Looking forward to some good Christmas Day basketballs. It's Christmas. It's NBA Christmas Day in my household as well, Martin.
Yeah, because I personally do like it more than NFL Thanksgiving, just because there's so many more games on. I just like being able to sit there from 12 till like 12, just watching straight basketball.
Oh, absolutely. It's great to see. Getting up there in age, man, like it's tough to stay up and watch the West Coast teams on that last one that doesn't tip till 10:30. But yeah, falling asleep to it, eating Christmas dinner to it, open presents to it. It's great to have basketball on a full slate.
Agreed. So yesterday we had opening night, in which we previewed a little bit. The first game was the Brooklyn Nets versus the Golden State Warriors. So this was the regular season debut of KD. And when I watched the game, Brooklyn came out on top 125-99. And since the beginning of tip-off, it looked like Brooklyn was more in sync than Golden State. Their ball movement was a little bit more crisper. And it looked pretty easy for them without going too much in the stats. Evan, what did you think when you saw that game?
Well, first of all, I think part of it too is, Brooklyn has and had the two best players on the court last night.
Yeah.
And KD and Kyrie, who, tore it up. Kevin Durant, we said on the last pod, and I've been saying so far this year, I think strong MVP candidate. I think the Nets are coming out of the East. I want to make sure I get all that in early when we go back, and I got to find the evidence of, hey, remember when I told you guys this? Of course, we'll throw it in my face when it's wrong, but as expected, it should be. But no, they came out strong, and you're right, they were more in sync. Golden State just has so many new pieces to get in. It was good to see for the first time James Wiseman out there, who this is the first game since that last Memphis game he played way back in what would have been like October or in like November of 2019, before the improper benefits thing sidelined him. Then he decided to take himself out. So he had 19 and 6 last night in 24 minutes. But a lot of new pieces for the Warriors. Kelly Oubre severely struggled from the field.
Yeah.
Some of those other guys, Chris Bazemore, Curry had his 20 and 10, but wasn't too efficient himself. But yeah, the Nets just look like they were just 3 months ahead of where everybody else was in sync wise. And Karis LeVert added a 29 and 5 off the bench, and that's a guy who's been floated out there, and trade rumors depending on. He and Kyrie essentially play the same position, but he's such a skillful player. Just a great effort by the Nets, and first win in the books for head coach Steve Nash.
Yeah, because even with Golden State, is there a timetable on Draymond?
Not that I'm aware of. It's certainly not a season-ending thing. I don't think it's like even a 4-month thing, but yeah, not that I've seen. I'm not sure what the timetable is.
Yeah, because that's also their heart and soul of the team. But yeah, just some more on Kevin Durant. He only played about 25 minutes, and he had 22 points in 25 minutes. And Kyrie played 25 minutes, and he had 26 points. And I think people forget that this is a team, even with KD and Kyrie, when they were out last year, they were still the 7th seed in the East. Like, they were still a playoff team in the East out those two. So then you add those two, and you really, with the pieces that they have, we both said that they were going to come out of the East. We both had KD in our top 2 of MVP. I had him 1, you had him 2, because I had Luka 2 and you had him one, so we're both in the same ballpark with him. That
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's only game one, but if they continue, if they play like this, uh, and they pass the ball and Kyrie's not a distraction, I don't think it's going to be hard for them to come out of the East. I think it'll be easy.
No, I think so. Absolutely. On Draymond, real quick, I looked up. So he's just listed as day to day on that foot. So MRI confirmed it was clean, and he's in contention for Friday's Christmas Day matchup with the Bucks. So
Okay. And then there was another guy just from Golden State. Just one last thing, because uh, he used to be with us in Cleveland. Andrew Wiggins. He had 13 points and 2 rebounds, 1 assist. But is it
in 31 minutes.
Yeah, he's supposed to be with, hurrying them out there, a secondary, like second or third option right now. And after that first game, it looked like same old Andrew, where he disappoints you most of the while, and then one game will explode for like a 40-point game.
That's certainly his MO. But if the Warriors are going to do anything this year, essentially minus Draymond, they are as healthy as they're going to be, not having Clay either. That you can't have Andrew Wiggins only put in 13 and 31 minutes.
Yeah.
And Kelly Oubre with as bad as, I don't have his field goal up for me on the box score I'm looking at right now, but only 6 points in 26 minutes, when both are capable of well more and more efficiency. And I think they'll get there again. There's so many new pieces to the field. Like the only players that pop out to me as folks that were on the team last year was, Wiggins was barely there after the trade deadline. Eric Pascal, the all rookie forward for the Warriors. You got Curry, Jordan Poole, Marquise Chris, Damian Lee, and Kevon Looney. So tons of new guys in there. Wiseman, Oubre, Wanamaker, Toscano Anderson, Bazemore, just tons of new guys. It's just going to take time. That's the MO for a lot of teams across the league that have had to shake things up because of injuries, and the Warriors are no different. Martin, let's go to the second game real quick.
Oh yeah, Battle of LA. Is this the second year in a row this game's open on opening day?
I can't recall, honestly, but I would not be surprised. So the Clippers took last night 116-109, spoiling the Lakers' ring night ceremony. Beautiful ring night ceremony. They're going to do it again with they want to make sure that they include the Lakers fans down the road when we're past all this COVID stuff. They did not display the banner again. They want as a tribute to wanting to do that in front of their fans. Good video tribute highlights from family members and little video clips to introduce and quote unquote present them their rings. So they would have the family members say, "Congratulations, so proud of you." LeBron had, in addition to his family members, had some kids and staff from his Akron I Promise school congratulate him, and then they'd proceed to walk up to their podium pillow and grab their championship ring. But nonetheless, Clippers came out real aggressive in their first game under Ty Lue, dropping 39 points on the Lakers in the first quarter, and then ultimately held on through a couple different waves. Lakers only outscored them in the second and fourth, but not enough to surmount how big a start the Clippers had. So they take it 116-109. Kawhi had 26. Paul George, really great night, 33 points, 6 boards in 36 minutes. Martin, what'd you see from the game last night?
Yeah. And just one thing to add on to the ring thing, I think they also had a tribute to Kobe on their rings from the pictures that I saw. And I know LeBron was wearing a 24, I don't even know what you wrap around your finger, but the thing.
Yeah, Rob Pelinka held up 2-4 when he got his presented by his family and pointed up.
Yeah, so what I saw from the Clippers, I just felt like they had the fresher legs. The Lakers just played like 72 days ago in the finals, and I feel like they're just still on tired legs. I think it'll take a couple games for them to get back into the swing of things. And the Clippers, I felt like they wanted to win this first game, A, because it was the day the Lakers were getting their rings, B, it was Tyronn Lue's first day as coach, And see, the last time everyone saw them, they blew the 3-1 lead on Denver. And even this game too, after they got to the quick start, and when I was watching, I was just like, "Oh, the Lakers are going to come back because that's who the Clippers are." But they were able to hold on. I think my biggest thing is Tyronn implementing the triangle offense with Kawhi and them. And from game one, it looked like it was working. We're going to have to see going forward. And I mean, the guy that I personally rag on, probably one of the most in the NBA, because I know how good he can. I know how good he can be, but he always lets me down. Paul George came out, I mean, like you said, 33 points in 36 minutes, and it's just about him being consistent. I mean, and also, too, they got good contribution. Now I'm switching to Lakers. I think they'll be just fine because their two biggest acquisitions, Dennis and Montrell, played really well. So, I mean, Dennis had 14 points, 8 assists, 12 rebounds in 28 minutes, and Montrez had 17 points, 3 assists, 10 rebounds in 32 minutes. So those acquisitions are really, from the first game, if they stay like that, I don't think the Lakers will have that big an issue of getting back to the final. And year 18 for the King, just no big deal.
Year 18 is right before tip-off. There was a little video spot from the Snoop D-O double G requesting LeBron bring the 18th banner to the Lakers in year 18. So the other Laker that I think was a huge upgrade, new addition this year too, in addition to, yes, great. I thought Schroeder did a heck of a job, and 12 boards for Dennis Schroeder last night. My goodness. Was Marc Gasol, who went scoreless in his 12 minutes, but Mark, great passing upgrade over JaVale McGee, now a Cav, and Dwight Post. Just, I mean, he's obviously older. I think he's 36, but 35, 36, but just phenomenal court vision that'll come with him. For the Clippers here, I mean, their big upgrade too is, so you have Zubac, who started every game at center last year, now going to the bench, is a reliable backup big, but getting, if you're going to lose Trez too, where they really hurt in that Denver series was not having some bigger post guys. So Serge Ibaka, 15.6 boards in 21 minutes as their starting center last night, brings that veteran presence from all those Oklahoma City years, championship pedigree, and just knows the ins and outs of how Kawhi likes pick and rolls and pick and pops. From the Toronto championship year too. He was phenomenal last night. So, and then Lou Williams chipping in as well. Not as deep into the bench as Ty Lue could have gone last night. And I think he said in his interview after the first quarter, he wanted to keep it to kind of a 10-man rotation of shorts. So guys like Reggie Jackson barely made it in. Not that he was going to contribute much anyway, but nonetheless, Clippers take a 116-109 final over the NBA champions, the Los Angeles Lakers. So early, I was talking about just the second ago, just the upgrades for the Lakers with Marc Gasol.
Yep.
One of the former members of the Lakers who was not there and honored and named last night to receive his championship ring. That's a good segue to transition to the Cleveland Cavaliers. As JaVale McGee, NBA champion with the Lakers, is now a member of Cleveland. Came in the deal that three-way deal that made Marc Gasol actually signing happen for the Lakers. Cavs got a second-round pick for taking on JaVale's contract, so they had enough money to sign him. Yeah, we'd be remiss not to talk about the Cavs on this podcast. They are one of the many teams playing their first official game, not a preseason game, since March the 11th. They'll take on Charlotte tonight at 7, but they'll be without a number of players. Kevin Love, who's nursing an ankle injury. There'll be no Matthew Dellavedova. There'll be no Dante Exum. Trying to think who else. Oh, and no Kevin Porter Jr., who we've not seen in the preseason. Has obviously had kind of a really challenging off season with the police report taking on, I think, him and his girlfriend for an altercation where allegedly she or he had maybe struck another woman. There were no charges filed, and then of course he fell asleep at the wheel and in a parked car with a loaded handgun. Those charges were dismissed. But we have not seen anything from Kevin. I think there were some people on Cavs Reddit who said that maybe they had seen him in a picture I missed. But I mean, I was scrolling through the Cavs social feeds the other day. Like I haven't even seen pictures of him at practice or whatever. But the report last night was he's going to be held out today for personal reasons. So again, just not sure what's going on. Kevin Porter, I mean, when we ended things in March, was the Cavs' most promising prospect. I mean, dude just lefty shooter. There's the ISO capabilities, pick and roll capabilities as well. Just can put it up and fill up the basket from distance, from aggressively attacking the lanes. Fairly decent free throw shooter, not phenomenal. And then just a long defender. They've been joking all off season about just how much he's grown too. I mean, he's up 6'6" now. As a guy, I think that is only drafted about 6'4", listed to 6'4". So I'd argue he might be a little bit taller than that too. So I mean, that's definitely what you want to see in your wing. But nonetheless, the Cavs will go tonight with Thon Maker getting some more minutes, who's made the team, former Milwaukee Buck, with a few playoffs starts under his belt. There were some questions on whether or not he was going to make the team. We'll get to see Isaac Okoro's official debut. Be interested to see if Jetty Osman or Okoro get the official starting nod. They might actually both, if we go back to preseason, if Kevin Love's going to be out, they might go super small and put Jetty at the 4, and then they'll go at it with LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets, who also have some new additions to fill out their roster. Likely LaMelo will be continuing to come off the bench for now, but again, some great young guards there, and PJ Washington and Malik Monk. Obviously, no Gordon Hayward, I think, tonight, along with Miles Bridges. So excited to have the Cavs back in action tonight. Kind of a long-winded intro, but yeah, definitely looking forward to the first game since March 11th with BJ Bickerstaff's crew.
Yeah, I still, like, even with the 4 people out, I think this is a very winnable game for Cleveland. Charlotte isn't world beaters, and I just want to, like you've already said, I just want to see how they play, since it's going to be their first official game since March, and I want to see from the Charlotte side when Mr. Ball comes in and see how he plays in his first regular season game, since they'll be in the headlines. And it's good. It's good to finally have consistent basketball back on FS1 Ohio that you can tune in almost every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's great to have that back in the state of Ohio.
Love it.
But from that being said, because then there's games today, then there's a break on the 24th, Christmas Eve, and then we have NBA Christmas that we've already alluded to, that we get 5 games, the first game starting from 12 and the last game starting at 10:30. And we have the Pelicans and the Heat at 12, the Warriors Bucks 2:30, the Nets Celtics 5, Mavericks Lakers 8, and Clippers Nuggets 10:30. So before we dive into these all a little bit, Evan, which game are you looking forward to the most?
Man, there's so many options. I mean, I think from a, what are these teams going to look like thing, I really like the new game. I'll be honest. Like, I mean, the Pelicans and Heat, Heat with drafting Precious Achiuwa, and the Pelicans with getting in, losing Drew Holiday, getting in Eric Bledsoe. They'll have Steven Adams in the post to go against Bam. Particularly with the Pelicans, I'm interested to see what kind of team they're going to be this year. So I'm really interested in that new game. But from a pure fun standpoint, it's LeBron versus Luka all day.
Okay.
In the 8:00 game. So really excited to see what that looks like. Mavs, lose Seth Curry, bring in bring in some new ads to get wrinkles in, and then see if the Lakers can shake things off and go at them. But I mean, just that pure LeBron versus Luka matchup. There's so much respect there from LeBron, for Luka. I mean, he recognizes what he brings, and again, a guy who could be in that MVP conversation if the Mavs are going to be in contention in the West this year. So, what about you?
I guess throughout my basketball watching on Christmas, for me, I don't know why, it's always the 5 p.m. game. Like whatever game.
Yeah, it's dinner time.
Yeah, it's just like 5 p.m. getting ready to eat some dinner, especially on ABC because usually the 5 and 2:30 game are on ABC, and I'm just like, it's always the 5 o'clock game, and I'm looking at this one, and it's Kyrie going back to Boston, first game of this year, and it's the Nets and Celtics, and I hate when I say it could be a potential Eastern Conference Finals preview. But it's gonna be. I feel like that game is gonna be a really good game, and I'm interested to see how much KD is gonna play this one, since he only played 22 minutes. If they're gonna ease him, they're gonna try and keep him under 30 minutes a game, and then he
might be trying to just drop the haymakers so he doesn't even have to get 20 points, and they'll cruise. So who knows? We'll see.
That's true. And then the Mavericks Lakers. I feel like that's gonna a really good game. Like you already hit him with LeBron and Luka. Kristaps is fully healthy now, right? Porzingis?
Yes, he's back.
Okay. So that should be a really good game with him, Luka, LeBron. It's just with the Mavericks, man. I mean, if Kristaps can stay healthy, I feel like they can be an upper Western Conference seeding, not in the top 2, but maybe around hovering from that 3 to 6 range.
Okay, I lied. Kristaps is not back. They're targeting January 1st, so we're still about a week away from Christmas to January 1 for him to come back from that left knee ACL tear. So, but we're not too far off. I mean, it feels like January 1st, if we were normally starting the NBA regular season, would be a couple months in, but in this accelerated and shortened season, that's next week. So as we're starting the year, so yeah, let's dive into the Christmas slate. Pelicans at Heat. Who you got? Key matchups, things you're looking for.
Oh, well, I got the Heat. I'm excited to see how they're going to be after losing the finals in 6 games, the finals that no one expected to get to. So I have them. Things I'm looking for too is Zion's improved conditioning, his jump shot, that young core Alonzo, and those guys, and seeing Stan coach against his former team. So those are the key takeaways. And I'm seeing Jimmy Butler as well, and seeing how the Heat team evolved to show the world that they weren't just a one-hit wonder last year, that they can be a perennial Eastern Conference power.
I actually am gonna. I mean, the Heat are clearly the better team. Just as I think we think the Lakers are the better team, just getting some stuff figured out opening night or what have you. Actually, I'm going to take the Pelicans in the new game. Look for a big first Christmas Day showing, I believe, for young Zion. And for the Pelicans, I'm interested to see this year again how they start to fit in some of the pieces. I mean, the guy who keeps getting overshadowed, and I'm as guilty as anybody in doing it, is Brandon Ingram's a bad dude, Martin.
The best player.
Bad dude. I mean, like, he's just, to me, he's like the Diet Pepsi version of KD, just with that length, the Slim Reaper thing. I mean, he can just get anywhere he wants on the court, agile, playing the passing wings. I mean, he was just absolutely phenomenal last year in stepping up. So the Pelicans draft Kyra Lewis Jr. I'm interested to see how much time he gets over. He's got Eric Bledsoe and Lonzo Ball ahead of him. Jackson Hayes, great young center as well too, and then Nickeil Alexander-Walker, the brother of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, very, very, very capable young guy as well too. So I mean, they've got, again, it's just kind of a weird mismatch of like pieces and stuff on the Pelicans, but I'm gonna, I guess, pick them for the upset. For the Heat, again, they've got some key losses. I think they're gonna really be missing Jay Crowder's ability to just, be thrown in and guard anybody 1 through 4. Obviously they're going to really rely on the Avery Bradleys of the world. Andre Iguodala more so this year than the few games he played in the regular season. But I think Duncan Robinson still has another step in him, especially defensively. I mean, he's really bad defensive, but offensively too. I mean, he's just so lethal. He can just beat you so many ways. Kendrick Nunn, second year guard, was phenomenal all year for the Heat, and then kind of fell out of the rotation once they got in the playoffs. But they add KZ Okpala again, Precious Achiuwa to their team over the offseason to gave that extension to Myers Leonard. They bring in Mo Harkless to kind of pick up some of those Jay Crowder wing defender minutes. I'm really excited to see too. I mean, Tyler Hero, his continued growth along with Jimmy helping lead the team along the way, and hopefully Goran Dragic is fully healthy here soon. Again, obviously really tough 70 some days ago in the finals to be missing so much time, but I'm gonna take the Pelicans against my better judgment for game 1. Martin, let's go to game 2, where we have the Golden State Warriors back in action against the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, so just like we were talking about, if Draymond going to be in this game or not, and the Warriors will be another team trying to shake off that first loss that they had yesterday, and the Bucks play today on ESPN in their opener. Milwaukee's at home. Right now, I'm liking the Bucks. What I want to see from the Bucks, obviously, it's another disappointing year to them. In their playoff exit, this was a team that was pegged to go to the finals as well. They had the 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and they fell short again on the upset to the Heat. And just seeing what Giannis does, seeing how he's improved his jump shot, his perimeter shooting, his free throw shooting, and with the Warriors, just seeing how from Tuesday to Friday, integrating those new pieces. But my biggest thing will be watching Giannis's perimeter game, and if the Warriors pack him in the paint, can he get shots off?
I've got the Bucks as well too. So would not a great 0-2 start for the Warriors, but I mean they'll come back against lower level teams and stuff as well. But no, great point. I mean we've talked about this in the postseason podcasts from last season of whether you're Westbrook, whether you're Pascal Siakam, or whether you're Giannis, your ability to hit a jump shot matters.
Yep.
And when teams pack the paint and there's 3 or 4 guys just, clamping down on the lane there, what do you do to avoid the offensive foul, to set up teammates? What kind of work have they put in on their jump shot? Giannis, again, is somebody who's had a longer off season than a lot of these folks too, to work on some stuff as they didn't even make the conference finals. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. You hit on just about everything. Just so many new pieces to fit in for the Warriors. Milwaukee too. Their bench. It'll be interesting to see how they come together. I'd argue not as much depth as last year, with a lot of new faces themselves. Torian Craig, Jalen Adams. DJ Augustine arguably brings in some vet point guard presence, starting for the 8 seed Magic in the playoffs in the bubble. Bryn Forbes, really solid defender, and then obviously the Milwaukee big 3 of Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and Giannis. But interested to see how Milwaukee progresses this year. I like them in game number 2 as well.
And then let's go to game 3. Nets and Celtics. Now, if I do remember, the Bucks are playing the Celtics tonight, right? As of Wednesday, I think that's their opening game, because one of these teams are going 0-1 into Christmas, if I do remember. But while going through that, I just feel like from watching that first game, and I haven't seen Boston play yet, I'll see them tonight. I do think the Nets come out on top with Boston. Ever since they took the Cavs to Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals, I've been waiting for them to take that next step and actually make it to the finals, but I feel like they've gone backwards. And with Brooklyn, just after that first game, I feel like they'll have the two best players on the court, and they'll have no one who could guard KD or Kyrie. So I feel like Brooklyn will take this one, but I feel like it'll be exciting. This will be a last two possession type game.
I mean, the one thing you're always going to get with the Celtics is they're going to be, for the most part, because blowouts happen one way or another, but they're always going to be scrappy defensively. They're always going to keep it close. That's just a Brad Stevens coach team. Again, I like the Nets to come out again. I mean, they're just what I saw. I think was just more than talent separation last night against the Warriors. You're right, Celtics. You just keep waiting for that next thing. I think they're a couple pieces away from being serious contenders in the East, but obviously still very respectable. I mean, they're gonna win between 45, 50 games in this shortened year for sure. But no, some new faces there. Tristan Thompson, I expect to get the start tonight at center over Daniel Tice, who had a heck of a year last year. So that'll help with some depth to be able to move Tice to the bench with the second unit. Kemba's knee he's not going to play, but Kemba's knee is going to be an interesting storyline this year. Grant Williams' continued development is a big, Robert Williams, I should say, not Grant Williams. And then for Boston as well too, I'm excited to see Aaron Nesmith, how he adds some backup wing depth for Jaylen Brown when he comes out of the game. Jason Tatum when he comes out of the game. He arguably the best 3-point shooter in this past draft there at Vanderbilt. Just interested to see how he works himself in. But it's kind of the theme here. If you're looking at the young Celtics behind Brown and Smart and Tatum, the Romeo Langford 21, Aaron Smith 21, Carson Edwards, I expect to get some more minutes there. He's 22. When you've got Tremont Waters, who had a lot of time last year, and Robert Williams again, 22 and 23. I mean, that's a lot of young pieces going against some legit vets in KD, Jeff Green, Joe Harris, Kyrie Irving, Karis LeVert, DeAndre. I mean, like, it's just, if you're just looking at experience standpoint, they're going to blow them out of the water. I like the Nets here too. Moving on to, the Luka versus LeBron matchup, Mavericks and Lakers. I'm going to say the Lakers are going to rebound. I don't see them starting 0-2, and even if they did, I mean, we all know they're going to be coasting into the postseasons here. So, from the Mavericks standpoint, they have some new additions to work in themselves. So they drafted Tyler Bay, the 22-year-old from Colorado. Obviously, they traded for Willie Cauley-Stein late before the trade deadline. Drafted Josh Green, the forward from Arizona, young guy as well too, to try to add some depth there. Kristaps is going to be another week to 10 days or so. I really like. We talked about this in a draft preview. Tyrell Terry, he's not going to play likely tomorrow night, but it could be a guy that down the road turns into something with his shooting out of Stanford. But they pick up Wes Iwundu from the Orlando Magic, 6'6", long, physical wing defender. Still somewhat kind of raw, but I still think Luka finds a way to prop all these guys up without Kristaps and make it a fun game, and he's going to rack up the numbers too. I mean, only 21 years of age, Martin. Only 21 years of age. He's just such an exciting player. I think Lakers again are going to take this one. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I think the Lakers are going to bounce back and win this one. Luka, I can see him getting one of those Luka triple doubles, and I always laugh because I'm just like, the guy's not the most athletic, but can get 10 plus boards pretty easily. So I just feel like the Lakers will be too much. I could see a heavy dose of AD in this game, having a 25 and 15 night, and then LeBron, it's Christmas, the stars are out. So I feel like they'll put on a show as well. I agree with you. even if the Lakers lose, I really don't care. I mean, LeBron's in year 18, and we're both getting into our late 20s of our lives. So we've seen him a majority of our lives, and we're at the point ever since Miami Heat where the regular season doesn't matter. We already know what he's going to do in the regular season. It's about getting to the postseason that I actually really like pay attention to LeBron, because that's when he takes it super serious. So Lakers by maybe 10 points this one.
And then the nightcap that I will be lucky to just stay up and watch the first half for. So Clippers and the Nuggets. I'm really excited to see how the Nuggets build off of their Western Conference Finals run. Do we see some of that ultra big lineup for them? Really excited about. Do they start to work in Bobo a little bit? They signed from the Clippers JaMychal Green for some depth, even though he was terrible. Even in that series against them, for whatever reason, they're like, hey, we need that guy. But two guys that's actually three guys I'm really excited. I mean, they really, I feel like, had a good draft and added some young talent in here before we talk about Michael Porter Jr. One is guard Facundo Campazzo. I think he's trying to remember where he's. The Argentinian, really small guard. So he's only 5'11", but I mean, just everything I've heard scouting wise, very, very phenomenal passer. So I'm excited to see if he gets in for some guard depth, what he brings to the table. RJ Hampton, who is a top recruit, fell to the Nuggets here. He was, right at the top of the list of guys coming out of high school that, and then LaMelo decided to go overseas and played in the New Zealand League, the New Zealand Basketball Association. And then finally, Marcus Howard out of Marquette, also a smaller guard, only at 5'11", but we saw him, I think against Marquette played Ohio State. Was it last season or the year before? And he went off. Maybe I'm just making this up. I'm going to have to look and see if I can find a box score. Looks like November 16th of 2019, I think.
It'll be last season.
That's what I think. Box score. But he was Marcus Howard's phenomenal scorer in college. He just.
But that's what Marquette guards produce, man.
Absolutely. Just crazy scoring. Averaging 27.8 a game. That's what Marquette guards produce, as we saw with one D Wade, as we saw with one. That's where he went, right? Am I making that up?
Yeah, D Wade went to Marquette.
That's what I thought. Jimmy Butler, Jay Crowder. That's just what they do. And then on to Michael Porter Jr., who a lot of people. Yes. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's my guy. I think is most improved this year.
Yes, a lot of people do. He's just. To me, he's a little bit slower, Jason Tatum size-wise, arguably a little bit more physical than Tatum, if that's appropriate to say. But again, a lot of people, I wanted the Cavs to draft him so badly, but I get why he fell all the way to the end of the lottery last year with them. And because when you're drafting the lottery, you need instant impact. You need to be able to say, hey, we sucked all of last season to get this pick. Here's what we got because of it. And people just didn't want to wait 8 months on a really sketchy. Back surgeries are sketchy regardless of who the person is. But he came out of it and, had some similar lift to what he had before. And, just phenomenal talent. You're right. I think he's going to, this guy's going to average 17, 18 points a game at least, probably, 16, whatever. I'm going to say if his floor is 16 points a game, he needs to be in the starting lineup now. He's just such a good. If you can stick him out, and especially defensively, again, he's not as quick. Not to say he's slow by any means, but it will be a challenge for him to be chasing around a LeBron or a Luka, those kinds of things. But he's going to add so much to Denver's continued growth to go along with, if you got a starting lineup of Jokic, Millsap, Porter, Gary Harris, and Jamal Murray, man, I mean, that's a scary freaking lineup. Let's be honest. And then too, I mean, again, they got to work in so many of those groups. As much as I've propped up the Nuggets so far, I've yet to name a victor in this Christmas Day contest over the Clippers. I'm going to say Clippers don't have lightning in a bottle back-to-back games from Paul George, and I'm going to give Denver the Friday night win here over LA. Martin, what about you?
Yeah, this is a battle. I mean, obviously the biggest things that we're going to be talked about during this game is, remember what happened last year, the 3-1. I mean, that's just what the media will use to promote the game, as they should. This is, to me, a battle of who potentially down the road is going to be the number 2 seed in the West. I think that I picked Denver to be the 2 seed. I feel like I want to see how they're ascending with Jamal Murray, Joker, all of them guys that you've already mentioned. And with Paul George having a good game on Tuesday, just the way that he is, he's probably going to have a 4 for 20 shooting night on Christmas. So I am going with the Denver Nuggets as well.
Martin, it's exciting to have basketball back. I'm looking forward to stuff in my face. I'm gonna have to go out and get some stuff to make my famous buffalo chicken dip. Make sure I've got that to munch on. And make sure I hit the treadmill today in preparation for that on Christmas Day. But no, it's a sports holiday, man. It's shout out to the players who, away from their families to play these games for the road teams, and everybody, behind the scenes, all the healthcare workers and everything else that are, now thank God are able to get, the vaccine themselves and the first phase of the rollout. So, thanks to all those guys behind the scenes making this happen. I mean, just for the collective mental ease for sports fans to have something else to focus on other than this pandemic. I mean, they were huge in the bubble making that happen, and have been so vital to make. I mean, basketball fans as we are, but it's been so nice to have a something else to kind of distract us from some really serious tough stuff out there, and our healthcare professionals and first responders have been so key to that. So we thank them for that. We hope they're able to get at some point a respite or some break with their families this year, and when they're not on duty can check in on some NBA hoops themselves if they're so inclined.
Yeah, and ditto to all the things that you said, especially, I mean, with the NBA being back and just sports being back in full swing. I love the NFL. I love college football. But typically you're only watching Saturday and Sunday. With the NBA, you're watching games. You're watching the national televised games on Friday and Wednesday. And when it gets later on into the year, ABC Sundays, which is actually my favorite day when those come back. And then you have TNT Thursdays, and you have your local team that you could watch on Tuesdays or any of the other nights as well. So it's just like that reprieve from like a healthcare worker or anyone else working. You come home and you get to watch the Cavs. If you're a Cavs person, or if you're a LeBron person, you get to see the Lakers. They'll typically be on. So like you already said, it's just a great way to escape and a very good Christmas present to end the year that we're having a full regular season of basketball.
Martin, looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, no problem, man. Thanks for being on. Now, as I always say with podcasting, now we're going to have to see how our predictions hold on Friday. I know we'll be texting throughout the week.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, as always, man, it's always good to just sit down and talk some hoops and go over the games and stats, because we just love this game so much. And to the fans listening, as Evan already said, I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year with your loved ones, whichever way you're going to do it, small gathering, Zoom. Just make sure you do get in contact with your loved ones, because that's what this holiday season is all about.
Amen.
And with that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C. thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.